We're looking for dedicated individuals with interest in hosting, co-hosting, conducting interviews, production assistance, and even participating in our up-and-coming drama series. Don't sit on the couch. Contact us at info@cmpradio.net or our Facebook page at cmpradio.net. Cultivate mature positivity. It's the station.
cmpradio.net, it's the station. Listen, man, let's cultivate together. Bring us all your show ideas. Content creators, we're looking for that. Videographers, we're looking for that. You can be a part of the next great big thing that takes place right here in Chester, Pennsylvania. Let's cultivate together, man.
Passengers, this is not a shoe. This is disorder. This is size 10 chaos.
Tired of being stuck on 76, 95, 476, 222? You get the picture. Anyway, jump on this train.
Remember last week how Texas was freezing over? Well, here's a little positive story from that.
We have the room, and we're certainly not going to send you out into the middle of the storm without even knowing where you're going to go, and we're not going to send you to a hotel. So it didn't make any sense. And I think it was just kind of a natural reaction that we would have Chelsea stay with us until it was safe for her to move on.
Yeah, okay. Let me preface this by saying that my primary job is delivering for Amazon. And at the risk of sounding cynical, I have to wonder, what if instead of a petite little black woman with an adorable smile, if the delivery person that was stuck would have been a 6-foot+ black male, they threw him a pack of cigarettes and a couple of slices of bread and said, "Work it out, buddy." Quick story for y'all. This past Christmas season, I'm dropping a package. I ring the doorbell, mind you. Sit it down. I'm taking the picture. This older white guy comes rushing out of the door with a Duke Nukem haircut. "Excuse me, what were you just taking a picture of?" I point behind him at the package. He barely glances. He glances back and looks back at me. "What were you taking a picture of?" So now I lean and just stand there thinking, just let him take it in there. Let him take it in, the uniform, the van that you see in all the commercials sitting there parked right out in front of his house. Give him a second. Sure enough, he looks at me and goes, "Oh, you're with Amazon." By now, his wife's behind him going, "We're sorry. Would you like a bottle of water?" Politely as I was raised, I said, "No, thank you." In my head, I'm thinking, no, I'm just going to get out of here before you guys start fearing for your lives.
We must all of us, on this train of life, remain in our allotted station.
It's time for the D train with Darren Devoue,
The divine keeper of the sacred engine.
Hello, and thank you for riding the D train with Darren Devoue. I'm here on cmpradio.net, joined behind the glass by Uncle P, the unofficial mayor of Chester. In this block of the D train, we're going to be talking about how it's safe to go back into the water with respect to sports talk radio in Philadelphia, Sixers update, and what I've been watching and reading. But first, the D Train is brought to you in part by Aunt B's Country Kitchen. At Aunt B's Country Kitchen, located at 2300 West 4th Street in Chester, they pride themselves on providing savory comfort food, casual dining, and hospitable experience that you will never forget. Takeout, available for takeout or to have an event catered. You won't be disappointed either way at Aunt B's Country Kitchen. Go to auntbscountrykitchen.com to check out their menu and order, or call 484-474-6779 and call when you pick up. Tell them you rode the D train there. Thank you once again. Thank you, folks, for joining us here on the D train. Here I'm Darren Devoue, messing up his spot already. It's my initial journey out, so thank you for bearing with me through any technological flaws we may have. I said we were going to talk about how it's safe to go back into the water with respect to Sports Talk Radio. I was referring to the recent Carson Wentz trade that took place. Oh, my goodness. Up until then, for that month after the season, it was delving in continuous psychoanalysis of the guy. But honestly, from the back, I was never quite really sold on him. I mean, look at this guy here. He just got a punchable face, you know? And a lot of times when he would be playing with what a lot of folks would call hero ball, after a while I just got to thinking, you know, is he really trying to be a hero? Or is he just stupid? You can't, you know, because think about it. That Cleveland game where he, took the safety, threw the pick six, and these were mistakes that people were talking about, oh, maybe he's still concussed. No, maybe. And as Napoleon once said, never attribute to malice that which you can attribute to incompetence. That may be the case that may have been the case with Wentz. But a lot of times now the Eagles are stuck in this whole situation with the salary cap and his contract. But a lot of teams, that happens. I think quarterback is the most overrated position in professional sports because he has to depend on 10 other guys to do his job. So all this focus that is on a quarterback is unnecessary because consider you pay your quarterback, look at it, you pay your quarterback, you kill your salary cap every time. Either way, though, I'm sure Eagles fans are going to react in a reasonable fashion should he be successful or unsuccessful in Indianapolis. I'm just glad to be listening to something else besides, what's my man's name? Morning. Uncle P, what's the guy, the Italian guy in the morning on WIP? I can't, why I listen to this guy every morning and now I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, I don't.
Andrew
Mack, no. I don't know.
Cataldi. What?
Cataldi, that's the name? There it is.
Either way, I'm sure Eagles fans will react in a reasonable fashion. Let's talk Sixers, though. Everybody's thinking that we finally have an NBA Finals-ready squad after their win over Utah, who has the best record in the league. The Sixers did look good and in that win, and that goes contrary to what had been happening in the past under Brett Brown when a lot of times they would beat the teams that they're supposed to beat, and those elite teams, they get boat raced against. Oh, and a lot of talk about Embiid being the MVP. Now, here's the thing I don't like about the talk about MVP for Embiid because, right, he's a little bit of a front runner, and he has been playing with much more maturity, fire this season, but the hill hasn't gone up. You know what I mean? What I mean? The incline. There hasn't been any storm to run through yet. Everything's looking nice and pretty with him, but there's a big men shooting threes. I'm old school. What can I say? There was a guy, when I first saw the first 7-foot small forward that I ever saw was a guy, played for the Bulls, a guy by the name of Brad Sellers. And I kept seeing him hanging out on the perimeter. I didn't know he was a small forward at the moment. I kept seeing him hang out on the perimeter like that. I'm like, what's up with this tall guy that won't go inside here? Sure enough, I get a look at his face, and I'm like, ooh, he just had this docile look to him. But I thought to myself, oh, he's a soft 7-footer. Okay. Either way, guys over 7 feet, like Embiid, that far from the rim, shooting threes. I'm an old man, as I said. I'm old school. I'm that old man where I don't like it. They won't make the final. Am I going to take heat for saying that I don't believe that the Sixers will make the finals? And it's a lot to do with this guy. It's a lot to do with this guy. What you got here with Ben Simmons is 66% of a basketball player. All right? Basketball has 3 basic tenets. 1, running. 2, jumping. and 3 shooting. And here we are in his 4th year, and every offseason we see the videos of him hitting the threes. Edited though. You never get to see the whole video in context to see how many he took, how many he missed. But you can't win. I'm sorry, but over the course of a 7-game series, it's going to come out that this guy doesn't assert himself offensively. You've seen it plenty of times where a guy guarding him in the 4th quarter sinks back, basically patrolling the lane against anything else and against his drives to the basket. So, because he won't shoot. That basically becomes a 4-on-5 situation, in which case it's not going to happen for you. Over the course of a 7-game series, it's going to come out and Ben Simmons will be the reason that they don't win. I think that, and this is going to sound racist, but whenever somebody, you ever notice when somebody says a statement like that? This is going to sound racist, but you're waiting for, when you hear that, you wait for the but. Yeah.
Let me hear it.
But I think that not white privilege, but I think that Ben Simmons gets light skin privilege. Light skin privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Light skin privilege, because in his 4th year, we're sitting here waiting on that jumper, and they still keep giving him a pass. Light Skin Brothers was in for a minute there. Maybe it's me, because when Light Skin Brothers was really in on the radio and everything, I was coming up and, I was seeing them getting the play from the girls that I couldn't holler at, Maybe that's me. So maybe I'm just still carrying that.
You just carrying that. Yeah. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
Back to Simmons. I'm sorry. But with his refusal at this point to take jumpers in the game, to spread out defenses, to challenge the defense by going to the hoop in the 4th quarter, therefore initiating contact and having to shoot free throws. And to me, it shows a fear of failure. And if you're at this level where at that point, like he's been seen to so often, it makes me wonder how much heart that the poor fella has. But anyway, quick turn through NBA news. Again, the Sixers are in 2nd place in the league. Second best record in the league, 1st in the division, half game ahead of Brooklyn, and that remains to be seen. I have my own personal doubts about how that situation is going to work in Brooklyn, because you got, when they worked in that many superstars in Golden State, a lot of guys checked their ego at the locker room door. In Brooklyn, we got sensitive KD. All right, we got, I don't know what's going on with that flat earther Kyrie Irving, and then he's going to be Kanye's roommate one day at the asylum, and then you got the beard. I think when when that team should run into adversity of some sort, hopefully without injuries. I'd like to see it just play out cleanly, but I have my doubts about how that situation is going to work out there in Brooklyn. Our NHL team, the Flyers, they had a pretty decent week. Well, not really. They lost 2 of 3. What was it? They lost 2 of 3 to the Penguins. Crosby. Lost 2 or 3 to the Penguins, and they're still in the playoffs. But they still have to solve this Boston problem. They lost 3 out of 4 to the team that knocked them out of the playoffs last year. So you're looking owned at this point. But there's still plenty of season to play. It's funny how it's weird though when you see the whole readout of the NHL schedule, and all you're seeing is 4 games in a row against this team, or and they're all division opponents essentially because of the restrictions. So yeah, they have to solve that Boston problem. The Flyers do. Our last major team in town talk about is the Phillies. They're going to have spring training ball. Rhys Hoskins in spring training, he was 1 for 3 in his recent return from surgery. And Odubel Herrera, 1 for 3 in his return from his domestic violence arrest. There you go. That's the way. That's how you make people forget, by being good. Remember Ray Rice? I was offended when Ray Rice came back from knocking out his fiance in that elevator, and I was offended when he came back to practice that time. The fans are all clapping, and I'm like, wait a second, guys, he rushed for like 300 yards last year. Like, you can't applaud him right now. If he'd have rushed for 1,200, then yeah, get back out on there, you. But no. Again, so that's how you make people forget. Oh, what did he say? Herrera said, "Oh, he's doing his best to make it. He's hoping to he's apologized to his girlfriend, and apologized to his team for embarrassing. You know, the usual standard statement. Look forward to playing the season, et cetera, et cetera." Oh, quick drink of water. Actually, no, quick chug of caffeine. Oh, shoot. Little accessories here at CMP that they got. Actually, that might come in handy. Does Darren drink too much coffee? Wait, does it affect his kidneys? Will that cost him some stones one day? I don't know. Yeah, that works. Let's move on to what I've been watching and reading. And actually, for those of you who are Snowfall fans, that you know that the season 4 just premiered recently. So I hope I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody. But the recent scene in the episode where Jerome and the mother, something happens to the mother, her and Uncle Jerome, for those of the fans of the show, her and Uncle Jerome are reunited. They hug real quick. That, little more on that later in a moment. Snowfall airs on Wednesday nights, so I don't have live TV. You know, times are tight. I'm a cord cutter. So, but what I wait for is the Hulu. It premieres on Hulu at 3 a.m. So I wake up early and watch it then, which assures that every Thursday I'm at work early, so it's a good thing. Back to I'm sorry. Apologies, folks. Got stuck for a second. Back to that, because I've actually been reading the autobiography. Once I started watching season 1, I got to thinking about, because, you know, with a lot of times with TV that's based on something, you know, they take creative license with things. You've seen it in the movie, the Fred Hampton movie, Judas and the Black Messiah. You know, there's a couple of scenes where it really caught my attention, like, whoa, that doesn't seem like that would have happened. And so I was thinking about that with Snowfall. So I got to reading the Rick Ross autobiography and trying to see the difference between the actual events and what's being portrayed on Snowfall. Back to Uncle Jerome and the mom hugging. Well, in real life, Mom killed Uncle Jerome. Uncle Jerome was trying to stab Aunt, what's her name? The aunt. The aunt.
See, I don't watch.
You know?
No, I don't watch.
Okay. Uncle P's not a fan, folks.
No. I'm not gonna say I'm not a fan. I have better things to do. I'll catch it on the when I get to binge watch.
Okay,
right.
It's on your TV to-do
Right.
list.
It's to-do list.
Yeah, but he stabs the aunt. He's stabbing the aunt. Mom defends the aunt, and she winds up in real life shooting and killing Uncle Jerome. This happened when Ross was about 7, which again goes to show you the creative license that TV creators take. But also I've been reading. Also I've been watching Black Dynamite. got back into that during the pandemic. I forgot how ruthlessly clever this show is. They did an episode with they did an episode recently where the they're kidnapping. They switch it around. I can't remember. Daggone it. Why am I drawing a blank on what the event, the arc event was that made this happen? Oh, cheese and crackers. Choking on air. This is worse than the Eminem. We lost it. Fumble. Picked up by the defense. Return for a touchdown.
That's okay. That's all right. It's the first show. It's the first show, bro.
Thank you. Anyway, what happens was they decide to switch it up, and they get angry, and what was the event? They start they said, we're going to switch it up, and they start snatching white people off the streets with nets and stuff, and then auctioning them off. And then at one point, you see the auctions, and it was approached in a manner that it was hilarious, which it takes wit to do that. So I forgot to salute the creators of Black Dynamite. Funny story, a 14-year-old white kid turned me on to that in 2018. Isn't that a bit of irony? I did get to complete a Marvin Gaye book, which was quite interesting. Actually, I didn't read it as much as listen to it. For audiobooks, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of audiobooks now. At first, I was going, old man, bah, I don't like it. But it allows you to, I've been driving most of the time. I do Uber on the side too. So I was Ubering while I was listening to this book by Marvin Gaye. Divided Soul is the title, and it's by a guy, David Ritz. And Ritz used the material for the book coming from a long series of interviews that he was doing with Gaye about his life. A lot of facts that I was surprised to find out about Marvin Gaye. He suffered stage fright. Can you believe that? And this was after a multitude of hits. Long after he was out of Motown, he was still suffering stage fright. Which is funny because there was one time he did it while he was with Motown that is told about in the story. And Barry Gordy went full on a pimp named Slickback and went from the first row, went backstage, smacked Marvin Gaye across his face, cussed him out, and sent his ass back out. Sent his ass out on that stage. There were he would also torture himself, so to speak. There was a woman that he was married to, and then he would berate her, go at her. Oh, I know you're going to do Teddy Pendergrass. Is this when Teddy was up and hot? I know you're going to do him. I know you're going to do him. And her being a woman, you put that in someone's head and you keep beating it there. So guess what she did? She went and did Teddy. She went and ran off with him for a while. But he also he would take a lot of that and turn it into his music. So it's almost as if he needed that conflict and what have you in order to make the great music. But it was a pretty good read. So I definitely recommend Divided Soul by David Ritz. That'll do it for our first block. We're going to take a 3-minute break, catch my breath, prep for the next one. But in the meantime, don't forget that Aunt B's Country Kitchen, located at 2300 West 4th Street in Chester, they pride themselves on providing savory comfort food, casual dining, and a hospitable experience that you will never forget. Take out or have an event catered. Either way, you won't be disappointed in Aunt B's Country Kitchen. Go to Aunt B's Country Kitchen to check out the menu or order, or call 484-474-6779. And when you pick it up, tell them you rode the D train there. You're on the D train with Darren Devoue on cmpradio.net.
Shout out to our sponsors, Northern Marketing and Design, Pressure Inc., KC Electrical Services, Mecca, Mosley Early Childhood Consulting and Advising, LeBron Construction, Project Engage, Mind Our Own Businesses, in the morning meeting. It's CMPRadio.net. You already know it's the station. It's Uncle P, and I'm here live with Darren Devoue, man. Riding the D train, man. We about to figure everything out. What the way Darren thinks about it. It's CMPRadio.net, man. Be safe.
Hi, I'm Ariel Marie Bryce Rankin, CEO of CMPRadio.net and Cultivate Mature Positivity. CMP is looking to expand our family. Could that be you? We're looking for dedicated individuals with interest in hosting, co-hosting, conducting interviews, production assistance, and even participating in our up-and-coming drama series. Don't sit on the couch. Contact us at info@cmpradio.net or our Facebook page at cmpradio.net. Cultivate Mature Positivity is the station.
CMPRadio.net, it's the station. Listen, man, let's cultivate together. Bring us all your show ideas. Content creators, we're looking for that. Videographers, we're looking for that. You can be a part of the next great big thing that takes place right here in Chester, Pennsylvania. Let's cultivate together, man.
Passengers, this is not a shoe. This is disorder. This is size 10 chaos.
Tired of being stuck on 76, 95, 476, 222? You get the picture. Anyway, jump on this train.
Remember last week how Texas was freezing over? Well, here's a little positive story from that.
You know, we have the room, and we're certainly not going to send you out into the middle of the storm without even knowing where you're going to go, and we're not going to send you to a hotel. So it didn't make any sense. I think it was just kind of a natural reaction that we would have Chelsea stay with us until it was safe for her to move on.
Yeah, okay. Let me preface this by saying that my primary job is delivering for Amazon. And at the risk of sounding cynical, I have to wonder, what if instead of a petite little black woman with an adorable smile, if the delivery person that was stuck would have been a 6-foot-plus black male, they threw him a pack of cigarettes and a couple of slices of bread and said, "Work it out, buddy." Quick story for y'all. This past Christmas season, I'm dropping a package. I ring the doorbell, mind you. Sit it down. I'm taking the picture. This older white guy comes rushing out of the door with a Duke Nukem haircut. "Excuse me, what were you just taking a picture of?" I point behind him at the package. He barely glances. He glances back and looks back at me. "What were you taking a picture of?" So now I lean and just stand there thinking, just let him take it in there. Let him take it in the uniform, the van that you see in all the commercials sitting there parked right out in front of his house. Give him a second. Sure enough, he looks at me and goes, "Oh, you're with Amazon." By now, his wife's behind him going, "We're sorry. Would you like a bottle of water?" Politely as I was raised, I said, "No, thank you." In my head, I'm thinking, no, I'm just going to get out of here before you guys start fearing for your lives.
We must all of us, on this train of life, remain in our allotted station.
It's time for the D train with Darren Devoue,
The divine keeper of the sacred engine.
Welcome back to the second block of the D Train with Darren Devoue. Once again, joined behind the glass by Chester's mayor, Uncle P. In this block of the D Train, we're going to be talking about a cheating sheriff. No, I'm jumping ahead. In this block of the D Train, we're going to talk about why criminals need to just get a job. And we're going to talk about the CPAC that took place last week and the imagery related and all that. But first, the D Train is brought to you in part by the Browning Group. The Browning Group is a full-service, licensed, insured, and bonded private investigative security and process serving firm that offers a variety of services throughout the state of Pennsylvania. They specialize in criminal and civil investigation, witness statements, surveillance, workers' comp investigation, and security guard services. The Browning Group also provides service of legal documents. Their services are designed to cater to insurance companies, attorneys, businesses, and private individuals. At the Browning Group, each case is conducted with professionalism, expedience, and integrity to ensure that you receive the best possible service at all times. Call 1-800-939-2978 or go to thebrowninggroup.llc.com and tell them you rode the D train there. So, our first story is a little bit local here. Oh, no, wait. Well, a little bit local. Started this summer. It faded away, and now it's starting to pick up steam again. I'm talking about ATM explosions. What we got, I can't tell if it's on the screen, but we had, this week, there was one in Chestnut Hill this week, and there have been a series of them that happened this summer. The most recent one was December up until this past week. Now, they've been around Philly, Montgomery County, Bucks County, well, in the edges, but usually close to the city. I got to remember I'm in Chester and I'm a Philly expatriate, so what happens is sometimes I might talk Philly and I might talk Chester. I'm starting to pick up their dialect, so to speak. So, but back to the bombings. The bombings are insane because guys are cranking, they're jacking dynamite into an ATM. And then I kept reading these stories, Philly area. So it got me to thinking, is this exclusive to the Philly area? So then I started doing a little digging, and then it turns out recently, or in 2018, 2019, there was a guy, 3 bombings in Tampa Bay. Now, 3 bombings in the city of Tampa Bay. On the 3rd one, he finally got money. Now, according to the report, he got to the Tampa Bay, reporting the Tampa Bay Tribune, he got nearly $70,000. He had an accomplice with him. So, okay, we're going to be doing some math in a moment here. So he got nearly $70,000 on his 3rd attempt. Their 4th attempt, they went up, and they were both from South Carolina, so they traveled down to Tampa, I guess, to pull it off, which got to give them points for not pooping where they live. Then I guess they were on their way back to South Carolina because then they wound up getting arrested in Georgia for trying to blowing up another ATM. They didn't get any money there. So out of 4 bombings, they got 2 of them. They got nearly $70,000. Okay, so that's not even $35,000 a piece. All right, now let's subject the gas, getting down from how they got from South Carolina down to Tampa. All right, let's subtract overhead for lodging and subtract overhead for food. So $35,000.
And the explosives they had to pay.
Yes, thank you, Pete. Thank you.
Right.
And the
You
explosives.
gotta think about all those
More
things
on
when
that
you-
later with
Right,
the
right.
explosives. But yes. So by that point, you're probably, what do you think they spent? Probably $3,000 out of the 35 that they're going to have.
3,000 a piece, so they both had 32.
You might as well get a job, fellas. Just get a couple of jobs. All right, you get a couple of jobs. Work 5 days a week, 6 days a week between the two. All right, you don't have to worry about blowing any appendages off, or injuring others, or having to go to jail.
But just think for a second, right? I'm on the other side. I'm the devil's advocate. If they were successful in all 4 robberies and got $100,000 to $70,000 per robbery, right?
Okay.
Then you can't say go get a job.
Right.
This is how a criminal thinks, right?
Right.
I'm gonna win every time.
And see, that's why we need. I'm going to speak for society. We deserve a better class of criminal.
I can admit to that.
Oh, and with respect, so that got me to thinking too. Where did they get this dynamite? Where do they keep coming up with all this dynamite? I do more digging online. It's available everywhere. Amazon, eBay, get your dynamite here. What is that? Well, actually, though, I wouldn't be surprised because you can order a poisonous snake sent to right to your front door too. So it's all on the internet. Let's move on to our next story. Our next story is local. Myron Brown of West 22nd Street. I doubt I doubt we have any listeners who are offended right now because it's just my mother. she's the only one watching anyway. So Myron Brown, so I don't have to worry about offending Mr. Brown's ilk with this story. Myron Brown of West 22nd Street arrested with 12 pounds of synthetic weed, 26 vials of crack, and $2,000 and an AKA. Unfortunately, Mr. Brown is a convicted felon, so he shouldn't have had the gun on, by the way. But my favorite part is he was out on bail when he got arrested for this charge. For an incident in Philly where he punched, kicked, strangled a person, and fired a gun at them, and then fled the police. So if nothing else, Mr. Brown, he's a go-getter. But he's not exactly the Avon Barksdale of Chester. So this goes back to my point again. $2,000, you got $2,000 that they found you with. I'm willing to bet that that's all the money, that's the whole thing what he had. Because he had all the other business in the house too. So you got 2 G's. All right, how much is I don't know what the going rate is on 12 pounds of synthetic weed. Regular weed, yeah, I got you. No, I'm kidding.
Say about $1,200 to $1,500.
$1,200. So he had 13. So right now he's got $1,300 worth of goods. AK. Again,
he has 12 pounds. So 12 times 12 is 24. Okay. Let's say 24,000.
Okay.
All right, 24,000, $2,000, and then the crack.
Okay.
Right.
I'll give Mr. Brown points for his entrepreneurial spirit, right, but he should have applied it in a much more productive manner. One that keeps you out of the system. And so that, cheese and crackers.
Right.
Thanks.
Computers.
But they're a beautiful thing when they work right. They're a beautiful thing.
Beautiful thing. Trust me.
That brings 2 guys arrested in keeping it with criminal masterminds. 2 guys arrested in Philly cell phone robberies. They were storming cell phone stores, robbing. Apparently, they rob in these particular cell phone stores because they sell the prepaid phones, which is an easier to move product rather than if they stormed a T-Mobile store or Apple or etc. But again, I just feel like we deserve a better class of criminal. I mean, you got these guys nowadays, look at me, I got a gun and I'm gonna get paid, instead of like planning out a job. First thing you plan is your getaway. Not that I'm any criminal mastermind, I just seen enough movies to know. But I don't know. Let's move on to our next story, which I forgot to mention in what I've been watching and reading. I did see this documentary on 6ix9ine, Tekashi 6ix9ine. When we get him up on the screen, look at even a mother can't love that look. I mean, but I forgot to mention he's being sued by his bodyguard company, which is funny because if anybody needs bodyguard, you would think that's the bill he paid that for. He pays his cell phone bill. As much as this guy, not that I know that much about him, but from what I read, like skimming through my news feed and from what
he's out here fucking shit up.
Yeah, when I saw
definitely out here fucking shit up. And I will see why his bodyguard company was suing. Because you're putting us in way too much danger.
Right.
We didn't sign up to protect the president or the Iran, whoever, the Ayatollah. We're protecting you. Yeah. You need to calm down, son.
And they're suing him for unpaid bills. You would think he would pay that. That would be the bill he would pay because this guy, whoa. And when I listen to his music, I'm old school. I learned when I was teaching, I would play music that the students wanted to hear, but I would play the clean version. Mr. 6ix9ine never took the time to record any clean version of his songs. And that never worked out. But when I hear his music, to me, it's the rap version of, you ever hear that metal where the guys go, bang, dang, dang, dang. It's like the rap version of that when I listen to
it. It is, but the beat beats get everybody every
Yeah,
time.
all the time. You can't.
Every
Yeah.
time. You can say whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, the lyric to a song can be, but as long as the beat is there, yeah. And what's funny is when he was locked, or when they were talking about, because he's had these bodyguards right up after his arrest, and these guys, he had them. You should see the picture on TMZ. He's walking. These guys are man mountains. And they were talking when he was eventually locked up, and they were talking about he was going to be in witness protection. I'm like, well, how's an attention whore going to make it in witness protection? Because this guy needs to be noticed at all times. Moving on to our next story, CPAC was last weekend. Now, CPAC is the Conservative Action PAC. There was a controversy regarding the presentation. The stage resembled this Nazi symbol, which is the Athala rune, a symbol that was emblazoned on Nazi uniform. The Anti-Defamation League has classified this as a hate symbol, and it's been adopted by modern-day white supremacists. This isn't new because there's not so well hidden imagery in during the Republican National Convention. I can't tell if it's going to go up, but look at this symbol here, the SS. Now, if you notice the picture from the Republican National Convention, look down. This is a guy speaking. Look down at the bottom. We're going to have it on full screen.
Yeah.
Look down at the bottom. There's two ribbons on either side. Or not, yeah. There's two ribbons when the C-SPAN guy comes up. Yeah, there's two ribbons on either side, and they look like that SS. That's what I saw when I saw that SS, when I saw those two ribbons, which is funny because another Amazon story. When I picked that up about the SS, because earlier that day, that's probably what allowed me to pick it up. Because it is kind of subtle. But I probably wouldn't have noticed it if not for this. I'm in South Philly. This guy on a motorcycle pulls up. He's asking me, hey, did you deliver on 11th Street yet? And so being a polite, again, mother raised me polite and trying to be customer service. I'm like, hold on, let me check, sir. Looking and unfortunately, I haven't yet, sir. He's like, oh, okay, all right, no problem. And then he speeds off on his motorcycle, and right on the back of his T-shirt, I see that SS, and I'm like, son of a bitch! Because if I'd have noticed any imagery like that first, when he pulled up and asked me, I'd have been like, I don't know where 11th Street is. I'm just a dumb Negro with packages. What can I say, boss? I'd have just played total stupid on him if I'd have known that. But I wouldn't have noticed that imagery, that Nazi imagery at the Republican National Convention, if not for my man on the motorcycle. So I can understand how people missed it but this is nothing new, this kind of foolishness. I don't understand where all this rallying around the losing sides, like the Confederacy, the Nazis, 0-2. 0-2. Why are these guys, listen, you guys, the guys that celebrate those Nazis and Confederates, I don't understand them and dedicate all that hate. Because my thing is, I'm not gonna go righteous black man. I'm just thinking, you know what else you could be doing with your time? Like, don't you have better things to do than to spend? You can't even enjoy a meal. You're sitting there so full of hate, and they're like, Lord, bless this meal. Hopefully, Lord, give us the speed to get it from the plate to our mouth before some Mexican or Negro comes and steals it. Like you can't even enjoy your meal. Just those guys that after the George Floyd murder, and when there was a protest, and they came and reenacted the George Floyd murder right out there in front of the protesters. I'm like, guys, you know what else you could be doing with your times? It was a weekend. I'm like, I know you got a honey-do list that is just full. I know your garage needs to be cleaned up. You have to have something else better to do than to take this time out of your day to come down and hate other folks. I don't get it. But moving ahead, Cuomo's in some heat. He was doing good for a minute there. But that was in juxtaposition with Trump, because Trump set the bar so low. Cuomo, what was it? Trump would be having the daily press conferences for a minute there, which were disasters. Cuomo was having daily press conferences, which were orderly and adult-like. So when you see that imagery in your head, you starting to, for a minute there, Cuomo's approval ratings and what have you. Well, yeah, he was the man.
I thought he was doing a great job. Look at him in New York doing what he's supposed to do.
He was hot in the streets.
Right. I knew it was going to happen, though.
Right. And then it all came tumbling down.
Right.
Look at him working it here. Look at him. Like, she's got the smile. Yeah.
Look at him biting his bottom lip.
Oh, boy. He's like, she's feeling me. She wants this. It's working. I don't care what none of y'all say.
They say his lines are very unapologetic to the females.
And when I read them, read the statements, my first thought is, no, he's got to have better game than that. How'd he become the mayor of New York if he ain't got no game? You can't become you can't work it. You can't get to that position in that town without being able to work it unless you either that or you have a whole huge stack behind you. And even then, how'd you get that stack behind you? I mean, like, I don't know. But yeah, Cuomo's instant meat. But again, that's the Trump effect. Good for it. He wrote it as long as it could. Co-worker I have, little young boy, I said, he's a assistant manager. I asked him the one day, he said, I said, how you doing? Where you been? He said, under a rock. I was like, very good. I didn't learn that skill until I was in my late 30s.
Under a rock. Mind my business.
All right. That's how you stay longer.
That's how you stay longer. Absolutely.
We're going to skip ahead here to our third block. We have a story here about did y'all hear about the cheating sheriff? Yeah, sheriff in Rhode Island, I want to say. I don't have it in front of me. My computer's acting funny, so I'm just going to roll with it. Sheriff in Rhode Island. We're going to go with Rhode Island. Sheriff, he was outed. Mind you, he's got a wife and 4 kids. And he was a busy bee with 3 other girlfriends, actually engaged to one of them. And man, how many hours in the day do you have? She outed the girlfriend or former fiance. She outed my man on Facebook, tagged the police department in it, told how he was coming to see her while he was on shift. So he's on administrative leave right now. He's probably about to get, he had to resign. And as you always see, those who resign were about to get fired in the first place. But this reminds me of back when I was living that life a little bit, living 3 lives. And my friends would say to me, dude, that's awesome. And I'd be sitting there like, no, it's not. I'm stressed. You having to remember everything that you say because they do. And you're having to remember. And it gets expensive. Oh, goodness.
Man, listen, who you telling?
You're eating 2 dinners in one night on some nights because you're It's a lot of ripping and running.
A lot. Too much.
But more power to them.
It's a lot of cheating sheriffs, though, because I just looked up cheating sheriff. We got one in Texas. We got one in Rhode Island. This is crazy.
They're all over the
place. They giving out fake annulments and everything.
Right. You know? I forgot to mention this guy.
So that must be the Texas cheating sheriff.
That's what she gave, because the girlfriend was like, yo, you're married. No, I'm not. He handed her fake annulment papers.
Fake annulment papers. Waiting on my computer to pick it up. So married Texas police chief accused of cheating. He resigned.
Okay.
After arrest. He was arrested. So Jason Collier allegedly showed a fake marriage annulment document to his girlfriend. He was cheating on his wife with 2 other women.
Nice.
Neither of whom apparently knew about the other. Yo, he was good.
Yeah.
He was good. Good. That's when you say, yeah, that boy good. That boy is good.
That boy good, yeah.
That boy good right there.
This next story is kind of scary. They proposed a law in Arizona that will allow essentially corporate cities where a corporation can set up its own city, its own government, and even its own police force. As much as experienced as I am in all sorts of different jobs with all sorts of different employers,
right.
The thought of a boss with his own government and own corporation is completely horrifying to me. We've all worked for that employer who's had questionable labor practices. But you think about that much power in your boss's hands over your life.
Talking about power tripping.
Woo!
Definitely going to power trip. Definitely going to power trip.
Let me scratch Carson City off of my list of places to visit.
Let's just get rid of that.
Yeah.
But that's in Nevada.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
We've all had a bad day at work. And this story is a little sad. A Amazon worker. I've been talking about working for Amazon, then I'm going to read this story. This is bad juju, Darren. Right. Amazon worker committed suicide in one of the warehouses. Jumped 4 stories to his death. They wound up giving everybody the day off for the day. Everybody was sent. Coworkers were sent home, and the night shift was told not to report. Wow. But you best believe, knowing this company like I do, they probably like, we're going to make it up to y'all tomorrow. Don't you worry. We got to work close.
Now, in China, they actually have surrounding the Apple building
the nets.
The nets.
Yes.
So if they jump, you're not jumping from this building. No one's going home early.
Right. Exactly. They probably snatch him right off the net.
Right.
Get back to work.
Get back to work. We ain't got all day.
Nice try.
Nice. You just wanted to see. You want some small. Guess you wanted to take a breath of foggy air. There you go.
Keeping it with Amazon, we've all had to go at work, and this story is how not to take a bathroom break. I don't know if you saw the Amazon with a story with a delivery guy. Again, this is our first show. I don't have the audio like we would like to run it. But in fact, why am I apologizing? Just keep going. Y'all listening,
right?
Mom. We've all been having to go to the bathroom at work. My man, this one Amazon delivery driver, and it looked like he had someone with him in the video. If you've seen the video already, he has someone that hands him the packages to sit down. He sits the packages down. Now, what caught the owner's attention was the other guy walks away, but this one guy, piss pot, he lingers in the camera for a minute. Then he scoots down so where he's scooting, but his head's still in the frame. And then after a moment, he stands back up, goes on his way. Owner's suspicious, so he comes down, checks. There's a wet spot on and around his groceries. Goes back, checks the audio, and sure enough, he can hear the pitter-patter of, yeah.
Urination station.
Yes.
But he's not the only Amazon driver to pee while dropping off gifts.
Right. Speaking from experience, you got to have that Gatorade bottle, man.
Right.
You got to have that at the ready.
Listen, man, if you're out there delivering, man, you got to know where you're going. You got to have your little stops.
Right.
And I guess if you want to get all your deliveries done and get your bonus for the day or whatever, however that works, right, you want to get everything done, you got to have that Gatorade bottle, a couple of them.
But the thing Amazon fired him. They said, of course, as you would. But I would imagine can he get charged with public urination over that?
So you can, but you have to be stopped by the police. See, your member has to be out.
Okay.
And the police have to see it.
Okay.
That way they can charge you with, urination, public urination, and then put you on the Amber's list.
Okay.
Megan's law.
Right. Have people coming at your house. I didn't molest children. I was taking a piss.
There's so many reasons for you to end up on that list that have nothing to do with raping anybody. Is actually sad. It's like, I just took a piss out. So what? You had your member outside, and we saw it. So that's for the children. So you're now.
I don't even like children enough to molest them. Please, come on.
No. Sad.
We're going to skip ahead to our last story. Some people like to live on the edge, and in this case, it was a whole family like to go camping on the edge. We're going to run the picture in a moment, but these people have no fear. This took place over in England. Now, the family, they got, according to the story, they got cited for violating COVID protocol, but they didn't say what. They probably just made up a reason to cite these people, because if you look at that edge, right there. Now look at that edge. And now they're close to it, like closer than you would feel comfortable. And look at that edge, but wait till you see the overhead shot. That is that has to be about 200 foot. That has to be about a 200-foot drop.
Straight down.
Honey, where'd Jimmy go? We lost the children. It was a family, too.
You didn't bring him out here for nothing. Like, I knew Jimmy. He's always running behind me. I knew he was going to do that.
That is a good way to try and get rid of your kids.
Jimmy, stop running behind me. All right, we're going to go live by the cliff. By the very edge, though. Like, there's no reason to be a little bit closer to ground around you. Let's just live by the edge.
Yeah, so they, as one who has a fear of heights, like looking at that drop, I'm automatically like, hey.
No, I'm good.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, you won't get me living there.
Right. But that will do it for, actually, we had to skip ahead, but thank you, folks. That will do it for pretty much our first run of the D Train. I'm sorry for a terrible show, Mom. Listen, I'm going to do way better next week. I'll have everything all set. It's going to be beautiful, Mom, because I know that. Well, wait, is there anyone? I can't check.
What you want to do? Comments? No comments.
All right, outstanding. Mom didn't even leave a comment. That hurts.
No comments. I think she was on the other post. She was like, I see other people. I don't see you. I said, oh, you got to find the D Train.
Oh, goodness.
You got to find the D Train.
Apologies, Mother. We'll work on it next week. Don't forget Aunt B's Country Kitchen, located on Don't forget Aunt B's Country Kitchen, located on 2300 West 4th Street in Chester. They pride themselves on providing savory comfort food, casual dining, and hospitable dining experiences you will never forget. Takeout, available for takeout or to have an event catered. Either way, at Aunt B's Country Kitchen, you won't be disappointed. Go to auntbscountryKitchen.com or check out their menu or order at 484-474-6779. And when you pick it up, Tom, you rode the D Train there. Thanks, everyone, and thanks again for joining us on the D Train with CMP.radio.net. Have a great week.
Peace.